Hello and welcome to the Inspired Life Summit. This is the place to be to discover how to feel, live, and experience an inspired life. I'm Krysti Turznik, motivational speaker, best-selling author, and life coach, helping people to connect with who they truly are so they can experience a life with meaning and value. The Inspired Life Summit will help you to take your life to the next level as leading experts share their key secrets to living an inspired life. Today, Divya Parekh is with me. Divya is a four-time #1 international best-selling author, speaker, business leadership advisor, and book writing muse who has had great success with leaders, entrepreneurs, and aspiring authors. Divya's books and strategies have been endorsed by the likes of Brian Tracy, Marshall Goldsmith, Kevin Harrington from the Shark Tank, two-time Olympian Sherry Wynn, and many more. Welcome, Divya.
Thank you, Krysti, for having me on your wonderful summit. So delighted to be here.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure that we're going to have such a really great conversation today. So our topic for today is really learning how to understand your motivation and why your motivation, or your big why, is so important for success. So why is understanding your why so important?
Oh, what a great question, Krysti. The thing is, think about it. So many times, we wake up in the morning and we go ahead and we'll turn on that snooze button and we don't want to get out of bed. Mm-hmm. And then, let's say we are just going to take a few examples. Let's say you're a corporate executive or you're a corporate professional. And now you're heading out for a vacation. You hop out of bed. You are ready, like, okay, everything is packed and I'm ready to go. And what is it that's driving us over there? It's something that you like to do. It's something that you enjoy. So that's one thing where we are looking at vacation. Now let's take an example of an entrepreneur. When an entrepreneur decides to go in entrepreneurship, whether it's small business owner or a big time business owner, they have a passion. They have a passion to make a difference. It's not about money. Because I'll tell you, as I have coached people, whether in corporate professionals or corporate professionals transitioning into entrepreneurs, and as I've helped entrepreneurs grow their business from 5-figure to 6 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures, it's always about the why. Mm-hmm. Why is it that they're into it? And it can be different. Some people may be into it because they want quality of life. They want freedom of time. They want freedom of health. Because so many times what happens is there's so much stress in day-to-day jobs. And when people come into entrepreneurship, they're, okay, I'm ready to work hard. I want to be my own boss. I want to have freedom. Mm-hmm. That's what's driving them. That's what drives them to make those life-changing decisions. That's what drives people to drive, and convert it into those actions that will support those decisions. And innovation happens. Innovation is something, taking that idea and implementing it. Yeah. And when we talk about the idea, it's that passion. So when you talk about implementation, or when you are presenting yourself to someone, or you are selling yourself to someone, and yes, we all have this kind of, I don't want to talk about sales and marketing. However, think about it. What you're doing over there is people buy from people. And what you're doing is you are sharing your passion, your idea, and what you're doing to make a difference in those people's lives. Because as entrepreneurs, whether we have products or services, we are serving other people. Why is what takes you from mediocrity to being extraordinary.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Taking you from mediocrity to extraordinary. It's definitely so important in really helping you to stretch and to grow to reach that next level. So what role do you feel motivation, or that big why, plays in our personal and our professional lives?
Oh, great question. So I personally believe that our personal lives and professional lives are not different. Mm-hmm. Think about it. What's the common factor in your personal life and professional life? It is you. You take you everywhere you go. You are you wherever you are. Whether you are relaxing and watching TV, whether you are brushing your teeth, or whether you're going out on vacation, whether you're spending time in kitchen cooking for yourself or for your family, whether you're hanging out with friends, that same you goes to professional life, where you may be in a networking meeting, or where you may be listening to a summit, or where you may be a guest, or where you may be a summit host, bringing all people together. Your essence does not change. And if I may ask you, Krysti, to demonstrate this point, what would you say is your essence?
Ooh, that is a fabulous question. I think the essence of you is who you are feeling called to be. You know, it's that deeper sense of you who wants more and who is really here to share and uplift the world in your own special way.
Hmm. Somebody, so that's a beautiful essence, right? That you want to share of yourself and leave this world a better place, leave people in a better place because you have interacted with them because of your passion. So that again, that's when we talk about essence, your why, it's not going to change when you're in the kitchen cooking something, or when you're taking care of a child, or when you're taking care of a client. If your essence, if your why is to help people, it's going to show throughout. And just by demonstrating that point, if you don't have that why, it's going to completely demotivate you and take you from being a person who wants to create a difference to like being, I don't care. And that's the difference of having why and motivation in your personal and professional life. And another thing that happens is if you care, you will do good. And another thing is if your essence and if your why is something that helping you go through challenges, because I will share. I mean, let me just share today. Here I am. My dad, how should I say, like just last night, I got this phone call and I found out my dad broke his arm. And just a week back, he had fractured another arm. So we're trying to figure out how we are going to handle situation. Fortunately, he has caretakers around him. He is in bandages and all that. So I was devastated because for me, for him to suffer this kind of, it's the quality of life suffers so much. Here I'm all totally impacted thinking about my dad, and I don't want him to suffer. I want him to have a happy old age. And so when these kind of things come in your life, there are times when you don't have any control over your circumstances. So today something happened, but my why, that here I'm partnering with Krysti, who is this wonderful person who wants to bring inspiration to people. That's what helped me to, get a handle with situation and sit here and talk to you. That, yes, whether you are a consultant, a coach, a healer, metaphysician, when you're an entrepreneur, regardless of where you fall in whichever niche or industry you are a special person because you're providing services to make that difference. And that's why I say that when you connect your why with your business, then your business skyrockets, because that's what I've found. Whenever I have helped my clients align their why in business, their business has taken off. And it's so, so important.
Yeah.
So does that answer your question?
Yes, that's definitely a beautiful answer. And first of all, definitely thoughts and prayers sent for your father for a complete recovery. And thank you for being here, even though things are a little bit unsettled at home. So it definitely shows the power of your motivation, to show up in the world the way that you do. So I'm curious, have you identified that there are certain things that are essential in bringing success to anyone?
Yes. And there are 5 tenets that I say that regardless whether I'm advising my corporate clients, whether I'm helping entrepreneurs and leaders grow their business, or whether I'm helping authors and aspiring authors to write that real book that brings their message, that creates this amalgamation of message and business, where book becomes the portal to their business success. There are 5 things that are necessary. One is servant leadership. Coming from a place of that I'm here to serve. And I'm not saying that you have to go and serve somebody in a manner that will pull you down. No, on the contrary, it's about bringing that humility and grace and gratitude in the mixture, that I'm in a position where I have this message. I'm in a position where I have this expertise and I can make a difference. Why don't I do that? So that's where leadership comes in. Just because you're an entrepreneur does not mean you're not a CEO. It's so important to recognize yourself as a CEO of your business. You are the helm of your ship. And if you're not the captain, I don't know who else will be. So think about it. It's a responsibility of a leader that you are to take people from one end to another end. You can make a difference. It's so important. And regardless, okay, let's say you may say, I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have energy. I'm so busy wearing so many different hats. And that's where I say, so I'm going to share a story. One of my clients came to me and she was this wonderful, wonderful, passionate woman, and her business, what she was doing was she was wearing so many hats. And I told her, Sheila, let's sit down. Let's take a look at it. What's going on here? And as we went through it, her heart was in giving back, in serving. And she was not doing that. She was doing work that she could have delegated. Mm-hmm. And there were, of course, we're not going to go into details about her systems and all that. But what I did was sat down with her and we figured out what was most important thing to her. And she found it was service leadership. And then she learned to delegate. She learned to let go of that control. So that's part of being a servant leader, is knowing that you can trust other people. Of course, it's a matter of hiring the right people, whether you're hiring them or you're contracting stuff out. So it's knowing that humbleness, knowing that, yes, I cannot do it all. Not only she was joyous, not only was she able to make more impact in her client's life, her business took off. Now, the second thing is collaboration, not competition. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Krysti is a perfect example of that. She's doing this summit. She's bringing people on. Now, does that lessen her expertise? No. Actually, what it does is it shows who she's hanging out with. And it elevates her. So whenever you're collaborating, again, it goes back to right people. And you'll probably hear me throughout the conversation talk about right people, right actions, right decisions. And the reason I keep on stressing about that is because sometimes you may be collaborating with people who are bringing you down, who may be toxic in your life. And rather than uplifting you, they're pulling you down in a downward spiral. So it's important who you collaborate with. So that's the second one. The third one is building relationships that matter. So Krysti, I have to share your story. So when we came on and Krysti asked me, how's everything going? And I shared with her that I was impacted today because my heart is with my dad right now. And some of my heart is also with y'all. Yet at the same time, she shared this kindness with me and said, Divya, are you okay doing this recording? And just for her to reach out and tell me that meant a lot. So it's about, building relationships with people that matter, right? Here's a relationship where she's being kind to me. And now I know that her showing a little kindness goes a long way. So now you know that you have done a little bit, that humanity, you have brought that kindness into your play, and it's going to have an impact on others. So now when I think of somebody, if I want to collaborate, I'm going to think about Krysti then more than anybody else, because I know she's like-minded. I want to be here on this earth, on this planet, connecting with people who want to give back, who are like-minded, who are inspirational. So it's just simple things, and it's about giving, starting out with giving back first, thinking about other people. The fourth is mindfulness works everywhere, no matter what. So yes, I'm worried about my dad, yet at the same time, I know he's taken care of. I cannot do anything much about it right now. So when I bring myself in the moment, because here I am, you could be listening to this and you could have something similar going on in your life. It could be you have your loved one going through something, or something else has happened, or it's about money or health, or it's something. However, when I share my mindfulness with you, you say, okay, if Divya can do it, I can do it. Because we are all human beings, we are same, with same aspirations, same pains, same challenges, same problems. So that's why I always share that mindfulness really works. Mindfulness is so important because when you share yourself in the moment, wherever you are at, then problem becomes smaller in the sense because you're not attaching meaning to it. You are looking at problem as it is. So now I'm going to again bring an example back from my dad. So yes, for the first 15 minutes, I was shocked again because I'm thinking, oh my Lord, why is it that he has to go through all that? And then I said, okay, let's take a step back. What is the silver lining here? Thank God that he did not break his hip. And also, let's take a look at the situation. What can we do? Let me put my emotions aside and let's figure out what can we do to make him most comfortable. What can we do to make him front and center? Yes, I'm worried and everything. How can I bring my attention to the matter on hand? How can I bring my presence to the moment on hand? And when you do that, you're able to give yourself to the other person in the sense that, because now you're focused on them. You're not focused on yourself and on your feelings. And it's okay to feel that, of course. My heart is with him, and I have going to figure out how I'm going to leave, how I'm going to take care of family, carpool situations, and everything we got to figure out. But when you come from a place of mindfulness, you're able to figure out things more clearly, more rationally, and more practically. It is this beautiful blending that happens in mindfulness. Your heart opens up as well as your implementation opens up. So it's again, creativity with implementation becomes innovation. And the fifth one is night yourself. And when I say that is, I'll share a story. It comes from when I was young in school, and one of the parts that I was playing was, I'm a knight, queen comes and tells me, by the power vested in me, I knight you thee with her sword. And from there, it was just a lovely conversation I had with my dad. And I said, Dad, I understand, but why does the queen have power and knights don't have power? Knights are all powerful and brave. And my dad said, who says knights don't have power? Queen has power and you have power, because knights are the ones who go and fight, and they are the ones who are protecting the community and citizens. And so it was just a conversation. I was very young at that time. And that has stuck by me, that we, each and every one of us, is a knight. Why do we have to wait anybody else to come and crown us? You can crown yourself right now. You can make that choice. You can make that decision. Yes, 2018 is my year, and I'm going to, whatever your why is, whatever you want to do. Yes, I'm going to achieve good health. I'm going to achieve good relationship. I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to grow my business. It's about clearly defining your why.
I love that. Yeah, and those are such really great things that people can do in this moment, and remembering that we each have power, whatever place that we're in, we all have power. We just have to claim it. Yeah. So can you share a few tips for people to narrow down how to discover that why?
So one of the things I'll share, few tips, it's a process. It takes time, because when I sit and work with my clients, sometimes it takes us several sessions to figure it out. However, for simple things I'll share is, one thing, what is it that gives you joy? Mm-hmm. That regardless of a situation where you are in, that everything else is going wrong. And yet, when somebody asks you to do that, you're like, yes, I'll do it. So that's one of the very simple tests. I call it a test of your why. That is something, a why test. Does your why have that solid oomph? Does it have that grit? What is it made up of? Will it survive the time? Will it survive the circumstances? And as entrepreneurs, it happens to the best of us. We go through challenges, because think about it. 2 years back, or maybe it was probably 2.5 years back, I broke my shoulder. And here I'm an entrepreneur, As an entrepreneur, you are your business. Even when you are setting up your automations, even when you're setting up your systems, you are the one who connects with clients. And I went through a really rough time where my why has been to serve my best for whether it is, wherever it is, whether I'm working with a client, whether I'm working with a robotics team that I mentor, or whether I'm on a board of a nonprofit organization, or whether I'm on a summit, or whether I'm talking to you, or whether I'm in a grocery store. So those 5 tenets that I talked to you about, those are my operating principles. So when we talk about that, even though I went through that, I sometimes felt like giving up. Mm-hmm. But the key was, I was fighting myself. I was resisting myself. It's about acceptance. And the key to knowing that is, acceptance does not mean giving up. Mm-hmm. And so that you'll find that so many times, your family will question you, your people will question you that, oh, why are you following your dream? So it's again, time testing it, and also knowing about your why, that is it going to survive? So yes, I talk about on one end that it's going to stand its time. And then second is, tips of knowing your why is combining it with some practicality. My apologies. It is about combining why with practicality, about implementation, and about model strategies, so that you help it survive. Because sometimes you may say that I'm not going to work towards my why, and something uncertain happens. What is today's norm? Today's norm is a changing world, changing technologies. For example, Webinar Gem used to be a great webinar tool. Now Stealth Seminar has come in, and it's better than that. So things are changing. So putting things into place that will help you fortify your why and help you survive it. So one of the key things is finding your why. And I shared the tip, thing that gives you joy, thing that will help you get up in the middle of night and say, okay, you got to do this, Krysti. Mm-hmm. And Krysti will say, yes, I am ready to do it. Come hell or high. Oh, I said a bad word.
No worries.
So whatever comes, you're ready to follow your dream, to stay on the path. That is one of the key things. And reason I'm not sharing several other things is because that's going to be taking away from my main message, where what I'm sharing here is. It's the key. So 2 things. 1, what gives you joy, what you will stick by, regardless of times. And then second thing is, what are you willing to do to fortify it? Because think about it, if you're not willing to invest your time, energy, resources, and money into your why, that's not your why.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so how do you define your your version of success. What is your version?
My version of success is that I'm playing in my zone of genius. I'm following my why. I'm making a difference. So it's making a difference twofold, right? The way I define success, and let me share this, everybody's definition of success is different.
Mm-hmm.
That I am able to play in my zone of genius, which gives me joy, and at the same time, I help people play in their zone of genius, where I help people reveal their masterpiece, and where they are getting this joy and passion out there, and they're making a difference when they're expanding their reach. So my goal is to touch million lives, and I can do it alone. And my definition of success is, so for example, I'm mentoring a robotics team. Over there, I mentor 30, we've got 30 kids. And I share leadership and entrepreneurial skill sets with them. Think about it. These kids are going to go in so many different colleges, and they're going to share that with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my definition of success is. I want to see other people succeed, because when they succeed, they're going to help other people succeed. And think about it. It's a ripple effect. How many people's lives you can touch? That's so meaningful and so fulfilling.
That's beautiful.
Success. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that definition of success can apply to everyone. You know, doing what lights you up, and just by interacting with other people, they are going to be impacted based on your joy and everything that you're sharing them, which is going to, like you said, have that ripple effect. So wonderful. Do you have a book that you can recommend, or something that has helped you to discover your why?
Flow. It is by Mihail. I cannot pronounce the gentleman's name. However, the name of the book is Flow, and it talks about stepping into your zone of genius. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So could you give our listeners one piece of advice to carry them through? What would it be?
One piece of advice is know your why, and if you don't know it, figure out your why and create systems that will support your why. Let it thrive, because it's a seed that's within you. Your why is there within you. Find that seed and nurture it so that it becomes a strong tree.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. So thank you so much, Divya, for sharing all of this really valuable information. How can people get in touch with you?
People can either go to my website, www.divyaparekh.com, or they can reach out to me through my email, contact@divyaparekh.com. It's contact@ as in David, I, V as in Victor, YAPAREKH.com.
Oh, beautiful. And all of the links are available on the Inspired Life Summit webpage, along with the free gift that you are offering. So understanding your why can truly help you to live a joyful and inspired life. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Krysti, for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm Krysti Turznik, reminding you to live every day like it's a day at the beach. Take care.